Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Magdalena from Fat Pickle Studio, and I promised I'm gonna do a flip through video of books that I made. They are woodland spring themed because spring is coming and it's a fantastic time of the year when everything starts growing, and so you can document your spring journey maybe. These 3 books sold, so I will put them away, and the 4 that I will show you are still on my Etsy shop at this moment. So let's get to it because I don't want the video to be really long. So here is a book that hasn't got the leaf on the front. It's called Tim Holtz book plate because the fabric printed so beautifully. It's an eco print on linen that I made this autumn with Japanese maple. They are originally red leaves, but they have green pigment, so they print green, and it was such a beautiful piece of fabric that I did not want to cover it. This book is really large, but you can see the measurements on my Etsy shop. Here is some woodland herbs and pine smell. It smells gorgeous. A tassel is made on a ring attached with Tim Holtz ring fastener, and it's made with inked fabrics and some laces, vintage laces, and it's got 5 signatures sewn, and let's get to it. So first page is pocket here, in it Holden pocket, fabric trim that I inked this lovely green color, a specimen of lavender, and mushroom journaling card. I love mushrooms. I love to pick them, eat them, learn about them, so I put them in my books because I absolutely love mushrooms. Here are some vintage pages from a lexicon, a tag, brown graph paper, mushroom print, drawing paper, 110 GSM. It's really thick, it's really good quality paper, and it takes fountain pen very well. Vintage ledger from my mom, bird page book, and a pocket in the middle of signature with butterflies, journaling spot here, and lined paper, illustration of a bird, ledger paper, pussycat out of a nest. Everything is aged. There is lots of sewing, tea and coffee dyeing. Here we have specimen, real specimen. So we've got lavender, we've got the seed pot, and the music page, mushroom page. Everything is tea and coffee stained, even the printed pages. The vintage pages are not tea and coffee stained because I don't want to ruin them. They are fragile and nearly 100 years old. So here we have some hummingbirds and a pocket with a tracing paper that I inked green and brown, and the first signature with a trim. This is from the eco dyed fabric. Enid Holden page, all aged and sewn. Another pocket. Here is shamrock. This is an Irish symbol. I picked that on Christmas Day when I went for a walk with friends in Irish woods. So that's a shamrock. I think it's called clover. Clover, I don't know. It's the Irish thing that everyone wears on their clothes at St. Patrick's plant. Here we have another specimen. Tag is sewn, and it's a blue plant. Graph paper, blank paper, pergament paper, vintage book page. Here this is vintage book page from a book from Czech Republic, so you can stick a photograph here or something, or if you can read Czech, you can have a read. Blank page, music page, another page from a plant book. It's a book about plants from meadows and wild plants and grasses. Pussycat of a butterfly, vintage page with the Latin name of this plant. I love the Latin names, they are so interesting. Here is a pocket from a bird book, British birds book. Here is another of the vintage page, vintage music paper from about 1928. Here is an eco print on paper of an oak leaf, and I melted beeswax over it, so it got this translucent quality. And underneath is music page, and if you look against the light, I can't show you now, but if you look against the light you can see it, and it's backed on a paper and sewn around, so you can journal on it. And here is another one, and this is a little talk. Here is a page, pocket page with a journaling page with butterflies, lined paper, journaling spot. I like to make these little journaling spots from the little Tim Holtz squares, beetles, and another page with birds. And I love to combine the paper, age it, and sew it onto fabric, make it into a pocket. This is a pocket too. This is two papers, so you can hide something in it. It's all sewn around. A dragonfly, vintage lace from Hungary, Budapest, I bought this summer with a little file folder thing. Blank paper, graph paper, vintage grass book, owl print, a blue graph paper, I love that one, creamy, blank paper, drawing paper, and pergament page, vintage, no, this is a print of from a vintage book, a music page, blank paper, British birds page, so that's in English, lined paper, blank paper, little Enid Holden pocket page, in the middle, lined, blank, little mushroom, there, bird, mushroom journaling card, held on with this tag, and we've got this yellow clip, and other fabric, little fabric clips. So I just go a bit faster. Rose hip, it's not a digital stamp, it's actually the vintage page. Cut out, tear out, age the edges, and stuck it on the page. Blue graph paper, brown paper, vintage page, wildflowers, music, empty music page, blank paper, and butterflies, end of signature. Here is a pocket with a mushroom tag, fabric pocket sewn on with some blue plants on it, lovely upholstery fabric, grass page, square page, blank, birds, black and white birds, aged, so it's yellowish. Healing plants, pergament. I like to put these on some vintage pages because it's like the old books always had a protective page, or old photo albums. Little mushroom, ledger from my mom, old ledger, original, and journaling card with birds. Music page, Enid Holden page with May because of spring theme, with some lambs, cream paper, vintage book page, pocket with a lace trim, honeybee print, love that print, drawing paper, vintage ledger, beetles, card held on with a little fabric clip, book page, Square page, more of the same. Vintage book page with some iris. This is a lovely pocket with a lovely moths print. I like the colors of it. Here is a fabric trim and a fabric pocket combined with paper, all aged and sewn together. Here we have another secret pocket. Here we have a mushroom print and tracing paper, vintage book page, very delicate and lovely, chalky and smooth, really smooth, like silky feeling to it. Drawing page, music page, vintage book page. I don't want this video to be really long. So this book has got so much in it. Real specimen on a card that I made with some inked tracing paper that I sewn to it for a pocket. Here we have a vintage page, Latin name of a plant. I love these little things. Journaling spot, drawing paper, mushroom, drawing paper, vintage ledger, drawing paper. It's got really good quality paper, this book. Well, all my books do, because I do like heavy paper. I don't like paper that is easy to tear and bleeds through. Here is a butterfly pocket, sewn, everything is sewn around, you can see. Graph paper, grasses, pond grasses, ledger, drawing paper, mushroom page, drawing paper, square paper, journaling card, backed with tea-dyed paper. They are all backed with tea-dyed paper, and a little clip, and a beetle. It's an American beetle, I think, and there is a story about that beetle. Apparently it was sent from America when Czech Republic was still communist. It was sent by America to destroy our crops. Obviously that's a nonsense, but that was the propaganda against capitalism. So that beetle has been sent to Czech Republic from America. Yep. Here is an apple from a vintage book, drawing paper, end of the vintage page, tracing paper, a lovely Tim Holtz print with a trim, this cheesecloth sort of fabric with pocket and fabric pocket. This is digitally printed fabric with a little tag, and here we have an envelope on the back. You can put something behind it and you can put something in it. So that's the end of this book. And now I'm gonna go faster. Here is another book. I want to explain the cover a little bit. This is an eco-printed Japanese maple. These buttons are very vintage. This button has been, my mom had that for at least 50 years. And these, she doesn't throw things away. These are all vintage. These fabrics are vintage. They are all inked and aged, and the cover is sewn. You can see the sewing lines. There are dark lines and light lines. I don't know if the video picks it up very well. There is the button collage. That reminds me of a tree bark. I think the buttons are made, I don't know what they are made from, but they are really vintage. And on the back we have some cheesecloth, little collage to match the front, all inked and aged, sewn on the front. It's a book cloth, it's eco-printed cloth. You can see some of the leaves there, and it's got 5 signatures. Tassel is all inked and dyed fabrics, some laces. Here we have a charm with a clover, green shamrock sort of thing, and a little bottle with the woodland herbs and smell. You can eat it, but don't eat it. It's pine and herbs. So that has been sealed, and let's get to it. Here is a pocket. Here is another pocket. In it holden sewn trim. Everything is sewn around and sewn together. Here is a rosemary specimen and a little envelope with a deer, cutouts, journaling card, flower agaric. That's then. Oh, we've got 2 envelopes here. I need one for another journal. Sorry. And here is bird page, vintage page, that's the vintage silky page. Here is a shamrock again, and loads of drawing paper, music pages, vintage ledger, lined paper, square paper, graph paper, book pages, same as the book before, page pockets. So I'm gonna go a bit faster. Here is the meadow and grassland plants, bird pages, some of them are really interesting. Here is a music page. This says March. I know that it's a march as in walking with drums and all that, but March, January, February, March is spelled the same, so why not, since it's spring? So March, journaling spot, back of the vintage page, pergament paper, square paper. I'm just gonna go through it. Pocket with a journaling card, fabric pocket, and Enid Holden pocket page. It's got so much in it. Vintage lace. I think that the vintage laces used to be cotton, natural materials, which my laces are, and the newer laces are synthetic. And I do really like the vintage laces, but they still make the cotton ones. I prefer the feel of it, and I prefer to work with natural laces. Specimen, a little fussicud of a beetle there, butterfly and beetles, pergament paper, drawing paper, beautiful bird print, and a really lovely vintage print of a moth or butterfly, fabric pocket, another real vintage print, beautiful. I can't wait for it to touch it. Poppy seeds. So it's got loads of interest in it. Here is the vintage page from the book and pocket. Sorry, I just want to go faster. I'm not gonna be explaining that anymore. Let's just, I don't know, have a chat. So pockets and journaling cards, and pocket and mushroom page, specimen. There is so much work that goes into these books, sewing, drawing the specimens, picking the specimens, sewing around the cards, but I do love making these, and I think they do turn out really well. Mistletoe, and here is the Latin name for it, Viscum album. Vintage bird lexicon page. So there is so much, but so much writing space, because I think that these lookbooks that some people make, that are all made out of lace or something else or paper, are absolutely beautiful. Here is the waxed eco print pocket. It's such a good translucent quality and the feeling of it. So the books are absolutely beautiful, but I do like to document things and put photos down, because I'm originally a photographer. I studied photography in university and fine art, and I do like to write things and document things, and I think that's what makes it personal, and that's what it's all about. You fill these pockets with your receipts and photographs and ephemera that you collect from your trips and everyday life, maybe menus from restaurants and stuff like that. So these books are started for you. They are beautiful to look at, I think, if I say so myself, but there is definitely a lot of room to add to it your own stuff and be creative with it. So here we have another collage with Japanese maple and vintage buttons, and this has got 2 signatures. These books, because they are not that thick, the tassel is the same. Again, we've got some check glass beads, and a little bottle. These, because they've got less signatures, but they still have got the 200 pages. The big ones have 300 pages. These have 200 pages, but they still have the same amount of everything. So they are a little bit cheaper, but a lot more embellished. Lavender. So there is something on like every third, if not every page, specimen. Graph paper still have got the same amount of paper, the fussy cutting, the pages from vintage books, the Enid Holden pages, pockets, mushrooms, butterflies, journaling spots, prints, shamrock, little wing there on a blue graph paper. I think that looks really cool. So they are very stuffed, these ones. So there is still a lot of writing space, Here is a little collage I made on this file folder. And here we have the waxed page on some music page with a cotton trim. But they are just so embellished. Very vintage page. Here it's lovely. Pocket. So you sort of don't feel like you are getting less with this book. Here is a feather. I have to sew this together. And here is another collaged pocket on a upholstery fabric with paper and laces and a journaling card. So you are not getting less with this book, but it's a little bit cheaper, and you still have 200 pages, so loads. So that means that. And this one is a small one, 2 signatures also, same tassel, button and 3 buttons there. That's some sort of maple, I don't know. Here we have Here we have a pocket and Enid Holden pocket with inked fabric trim, specimen, mushroom page. So this pocket, same goes for this book. There is not less of specimens or less of vintage pages or tags in this book. There is everything that is in the bigger books, but it just has got less pages and only 2 signatures, and it's thinner. The other books have got a lot of growing room, a lot. So you can fill them, they could last you for months. You could maybe use them as a birthday guest book, or I don't know, anything really, anything if you like nature. Waxed pocket, waxed print, specimen, and another vintage page, drawing paper. It's got everything that the other books have. Little blue clip this time. Red page, mushroom pocket. Sorry, I'm going fast because they are very similar. Next, I want to make some different books. Maybe the ones that I had to European ladies books. Maybe something with soft fabric covers. I don't know. So these would be the last nature books I make for a while, because I do have different upholstery fabric that I just got. So I will make different types of books now. And I don't have any more of this fabric anymore that I printed. I used all the fabric, this one is good brown spine, on these books. So we will see. I still have some of these prints. So that's that. I think that I will put that here because this one hasn't got it. So I'll show you the ones that I sold just from the outside. You can see this one is one of the smaller ones, and here is some aged tea-dyed trim. So these are the ones that are already gone. That one. Then we have got this leaf, that's a birch or apple, I don't know, with some collage as well, and trim in the back, and loads of laces. You can see these books have the laces sticking out and tags sticking out. And this one is also sold. Japanese maple leaf, a button collage, loads of sewing, and this one has got tags, fabric tags. If you would rather fabric tags, if you would rather fabric tags on any of the books that are not sold yet, and you want to buy one like this, send me a message and I can put them on for you on random pages. That's not a problem, but I would like you to have the choice maybe. So there. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.